Get started, just going to give you a quick overview of HMIS. So HMIS stands for Homeless Management Information Systems, and in Rhode Island, our HMIS covers all of the state of Rhode Island. If you were in another state, an HMIS is typically just covers the activities within one continuum of care. You guys will talk about that tomorrow, but all you need to know is our HMIS covers the entire state of Rhode Island. Additionally, the HMIS is a database that we collect client level data. All of the homeless service providers in the state collect client level data and enrollment information related to programs and services that are offered. The point of all of the work of entering this data into HMIS is there's multiple reasons. The main reason is to inform our system. So as Tucker was saying, he's a reporting and data analyst. He creates reports that we actually send to Congress. So we submit reports to the federal government around who is needing services in Rhode Island and what kind of services they're getting and what the outcomes are. And then it also helps to inform all of us in the state. So we're all planning to make sure that anyone that is homeless has the right services available. And then lastly, the most important part, and you all will be the front line, is to help clients. So our HMIS is designed to help clients get help as quickly as possible. So well, first of all, if a client calls, to divert them as possible with resources available. If we can't divert them, to get them assistance quickly, and to also help so that when they are getting assistance from a homeless service provider, that episode of assistance is as short term as possible. So we don't want people coming into our homeless system and sort of staying there for a long time. And I know as we go forward, a lot of this will make more sense to you. I know it's your first day and you're like, what? But our HMIS is a big part of what the coalition does. The coalition is the lead agency for HMIS. So myself, along with Tucker and Maria, we are the three people who are sort of charged with making sure that the database functions, that it meets all of the HUD regulations, and that all of the people who are entering data into it are trained, and that we have good policies and procedures. So without further ado, we're going to start talking about LMS. So today and tomorrow, the goals of the training that we're going to cover now is to talk about our learning management system. Have you guys gone in there at all yet today? No? Okay. So we're going to do a quick overview of the LMS, or not so quick overview actually, and then we're going to get into our actual HMIS. We have a training site. So I think that we'll see as far as we can go today. We're going to end at about 10 minutes of 3. So we have time for additional questions and anything else, but this is a really informal training. We're all on the same team here. So if you have a question, you can feel free to go ahead and put it in the chat. You also can feel free to just unmute yourself and ask the question. So please do not hesitate to ask questions. I know it's your first day, so we're going to try to get this information to you as in the least complicated manner as possible. All right, and I'll hand it over to Maria.
Yes, so you guys, I want to say it was on either Tuesday or Wednesday that your profiles for the learning management system, the LMS, were set up. So when you guys get that email, the link is going to send you to this page. So this is your login page. Everyone's email address is their username. So it's your email. That's how you guys are going to go ahead and log in. Your password, you're just going to hit the click forgot your password link, and then that's going to go ahead and send you to reset your password. So once you're able to do that, then you'll be able to log into your profile. But you want to make sure that you click that forgot password link in order to do that, because if you won't be able to log in at all. Also, you want to make sure that these emails are getting into your inbox. So if you did not get one, or if you just haven't had the chance, make sure that you guys check your inboxes. I did type them in, I believe, so I could have either spelled your name wrong or the email wrong or something, but they were all submitted in thanks to Pete for the new user request forms. So that's where I got your emails from. So please just make sure that you're one, that you got the email, and that two, you're consistently getting those emails as well. So if we go to the next slide, this is what your homepage is going to look like once you already log in. So it looks like a lot, but it's not that much. So it's literally going to show you the blue banners at the bottom. It's going to show you everything that's available to you. One of the things that you will not see are the CES call center trainings. And that's because no one has access to that. As of right now, it's only system admins within the LMS. Those are going to get assigned when that comes in from Pete. And if that ever changes, Pete will update us and we will make that switch. But up until now, yes, go ahead.
So just to clarify, because it's very confusing. So during this entire week, we are recording each of these sessions, and we're going to put those recorded sessions up into this site, so you can go in and review material that has already been covered.
Correct. Thank you, Jen. So as of right now, you guys do have access to the HMIS group trainings, which are the trainings that we did for Clarity. So there are 4 required trainings that you guys have. Actually, if we go to the next slide, okay, I'll be done. Sorry, guys, I have my children home. So the HMIS training group, you'll be able to have, this is kind of like a snapshot of everything that's available to you. Anything on the LMS, you'll be able to assign yourself courses to your own profile. But just so you know, you won't be able to see any of the CES ones that are currently being recorded because those are locked down. So you not only would you have gotten an email because you were set up on the LMS, but you also got 4 additional emails because each of you have the 4 required trainings that were added to your profile. So when you log in under HMIS group training, you'll have the Clarity Kickoff plus another 3 of the required trainings. Those are the trainings that you're going to that are required to go live onto Clarity. When you click on them, the video is going to show up. You watch the video in completion, and then at the very end of it, there's a timer. Once that timer is up, the timer is set to the length of the video. Once that timer is up, there is going to be a link for the quiz. After that quiz is completed, that's when you guys will go live for all 4 of the trainings. I don't know, I think we have one more slide for the LMS. Yes, so within the LMS, there's also a messaging feature. So if you see, it says 300 points at the top, then it's your name, then it's your access role, which is a learner. And then the next one is messages. If you guys can message the help desk through the LMS, or you can also just message the help desk by emailing HMIS at RIHMIS.org. So you can do it either just from your emails or also from the LMS as well.
Just if we could just take a quick pause, just a thumbs up or thumbs down. Have you received your initial login email from your LMS?
I didn't receive one.
You didn't receive, all right, and that's
okay.
I didn't receive one either.
Amy?
What is the title supposed to say? And does
Hmm.
it say LMS?
It says Talent LMS. So I'm sorry, that was Amy, that was Megan. I'm writing these down.
Myri.
And who else didn't receive one?
Myri.
Thank you.
We have two Megans too.
I have two Megans.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I have, all right, let me write her last name. Okay. All right, I can double check with you guys in a minute.
I think I received it. It says no reply.
Correct.
Yeah, it's that one.
It's that
Yeah.
one.
Okay.
Oh, it
So you're
is.
gonna, yep, that's perfect. And when you open that, the link in there will be in there to bring you to the login page and set up your password.
Because it said that there was supposed to be an initial email. And that's why I didn't receive one until I got the one saying that I hadn't signed in yet, the no reply one. But I didn't get an initial one.
Okay, so what I can do, can you check your spam? You don't have to do that right now.
Okay.
But if you guys can also just check your spam folders. But either way, I'll still connect with Amy, Megan, and your Myri after the training, and we can set you guys up for it with all of it.
Thank you.
Yes, I just checked. I didn't receive it either.
Okay, I'll connect with you too, so I have 4.
Okay. We're also going to give you an email at the end of this presentation that you're going to be able to reach all of us for any login or other issues that you may have. I'm just going to stop sharing my screen for 1 second. Did it already stop sharing?
No, you're still on.
Sure. I'm going to stop and I'm going to switch screen. Sorry. Having screen issues today.
I have a question when it's a good time to ask.
Sure.
Should I go now?
Yeah.
Okay. So for those of us who were able to set ourselves up, should we go forth and do those trainings that are listed on there at like whenever we have the opportunity? Is that the goal? Okay.
Yes. So it's at your own pace. You guys can, rewatch the video as many times, but just remember that the video is on a timer, and you cannot get to the quiz until that timer runs for the length of that video. And also what I've been doing every day is I pull reports based on those quizzes at noon, and whoever finishes all 4 trainings, all 4 quizzes, that same day they get put live on the live site. So just that piece of information you guys should know.
I just wanted to share that the email that I got doesn't have a link. It has a link to where it says always feel free to reach out to, and then HMIS@rihomeless.org. That's the only link it has. It doesn't have a link to the actual HMIS site. So if someone can send me that, that'd be great. Because I just thought I heard you said that there was a link, Jennifer. You said there's a link, but I don't see it.
Yeah, there should be a link to the sign-in sheet, so we'll add you to the list. All right.
I
Yeah,
don't know if it helps, but the email that it's titled "Your account for RI Homeless is ready." So if you guys wanted to just search that in your inbox, maybe you just overlooked it. I don't know. And it's no reply at talentlms.com, and it says your account's been set up, and it has the link in there with your username and password.
I'll look that up. Thank you.
Thank you, Megan.
You're welcome.
all right. We are going to keep going, but please just stop us if you have any questions And like I said, we're going to end a few minutes early just to make sure that we cover any questions that come up. All right. So the next thing, and we'll go ahead and put this URL in the chat, is once you're trained, received all the trainings, you're going to actually be able to go log into our training site. So there's two sites. One is our training site, and then another that looks quite similar is our live site. The only real way that you can tell the difference is the URL has train in it, and then it also reads training site over on the side. Can you see over to the right-hand side of the screen here where it reads training site? Is it able to see? I'm having screen issues. Shoot, let me try to share it again. Okay, so here's the URL. We're going to go ahead and put it in the chat for you, but the word train is in the URL, and then the other way you'll know it, you're in the HMIS training site. So when you hear us all using the term clarity, basically for more fun, we actually just moved from an HMIS platform that was called Service Point, and we moved in October into this platform, which is called Clarity. So when you hear us all say Clarity, it's our HMIS system. So this is the Clarity training site. The training site has the notice on the right-hand side, like I said. Here's the thing about the training site. You actually never, ever enter actual client information into the training site. It is an exact replica of our live site to allow specifically for people like you that are training into HMIS to log in and actually work within the site to understand how to create client profiles and create enrollment, but without actually adding bad data to our live database. So you will see there's lots of fake names, Mickey Mouse and Santa Claus. My favorite from last week, someone named a client hand sanitizer. It just struck me funny. So there's all sorts of fake names. We have one famous client that's called Testy Tester that we use a lot. So you will have an opportunity to create your own fake names and household members. So just as a reminder, please never enter client information to the training site. Like I said, it's an exact replica, and oh, my screen just went down again. And you're going to spend the rest of this week only logging into this training site so that you can become familiar before we actually set you guys live in our live site. So there, like I said, there's a live site. These slides that we're using today are from our big kickoff when we moved every single user over. So you will get the live site URL when you've completed all of your training, and we know that you're going to go into our live site and not enter any bad data in. So we will give you that. A couple things that are next, though, that is important for the training site. We haven't turned the 2FA on, the two-factor authentication, but it will be on soon. So both our training site and our live site have, this is what the login page looks like. So you would put your email in here, and all of you have an account set up in our training site, and you will use the CAPTCHA here, and I'm sure most of you are familiar with how to complete one accurately. So I had this poor elderly lady once that was trying to do a credit card payment, and she was like, I keep getting all these pictures. And I was like, no, it's intended to be pictures. She couldn't figure it out. So once you complete the CAPTCHA, then you are going to be prompted to get an authenticator code. So the two ways that you can do it are, and I recommend if you are a savvy smartphone user to download the Google Authenticator app, and it will actually give you, I don't know if you can see that, very well. But it actually, for anything that I need to have an authenticator code, I have the app that I open, and it sends me an updated code that I enter into for the 2FA. The other thing you can do is you can request it via email. So you can request the code via email. It'll go to your RIHMIS.org email account, and you can pull the code off of there. And my screen is dark. My goodness, I'm sorry, guys. I don't know if someone else from HMIS team is able to share their screen and we could just keep going.
Do you want to unshare?
Can't. Oh, okay. Maybe it just did it.
I'm just trying to get to your slide. All right, there we go.
Actually, I think I could do it again. I'm just going to slide this presentation over to my main screen.
Okay.
Sorry, you guys are going to see yourself for 1 second. And I am sorry about that. Okay. Okay, so here's what it looks like when you log in to the either training or live site. Here's the email, it requests here, how would you like to verify your account? This is the Authenticator app. And if you click this, it actually, the first time you log in will actually give you the information you need, the full instructions to download the Authenticator app. If you choose the email option, you click here, and then either one that you choose, you click next. The next slide that comes up here reads set up two-factor authentication. You put in your code and you verify the code. Make sure to click trusted device down here, because then it will allow you to use the same 2FA code for, I believe it's 30 days, unless you log in from a different machine, in which case it'll ask you for the 2FA authenticator again. Does anyone have questions so far about the login process? If you choose to get a code emailed and you don't get the email, just make sure to click the refresh button on your email browser tab so that if there's any emails that haven't come into your inbox yet. So the reason why, oh, sorry, someone had a question?
Sorry. I had closed out of the chat at one point. It like disconnected real quickly. Was there the URL for the program placed in there?
I don't think so. Not yet. We'll get it put in there though.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear the question. What was that? The URL for what?
Oh, for the actual
site.
the
Okay.
training site.
Sorry.
Okay. All right. So once you get logged in, we're just gonna breeze through what the navigation looks like once you get to the first page, like once you're completely logged in and you're in the training site. Tucker, do you want to do the next few slides?
Sure.
All right.
So when you log in, what you'll see on the screen here is kind of what will show up at the top of that browser. So your account settings are under your initials, and then it'll have your username and the agency you're in. So I think by default, you'll be in the coordinated entry agency, but you'll also be able to switch to the Rhode Island Coalition for the Homeless. Those are the kind of where the clients are that you'll be working with. There is, that looks like a piece of an envelope. That's the Clarity inbox and messaging. So if there's a client that, let's say there's an outreach worker who is trying to get you to help them work with a client, you can send secure messages about the client within that messaging section there. Then there is, yeah, right in there. And then directly to the left of that is 9 little dots that looks a little bit like a waffle. That is the launch pad. And that's where some features are, primarily reports. And then the final thing is the report queue. So if you run any reports, they will show up in that little section that is the report queue. If we go to the next slide, the next sections are, the main thing is that you'll often be doing is searching for clients. So the client search works really well. You just enter any part of a client's name, date of birth, social security number, and they'll see, you'll be able to see if that client is in there. There's also aliases and ID numbers that you'll start working with. And if they're not in there, there's a little add a client button. So that's if new people are calling you who have never been in the system before, you'll be adding them as new. Then on the right-hand side, directly to the right of the search area, is the 5 most recent client records that you've searched for and looked at. And then you'll also see there's a search in the upper right-hand corner, and that search will always bring you back to this home page. That search button if you're anywhere else in the system. And then finally is the caseload button. And so anytime that you add a client and enroll them into the coordinated entry project, they'll be assigned to you. So we will know who created and has been talking to that client.
Tucker, that's a really important point. It took me a little while to adjust to that there is no home button. So this this little search icon here, the little magnifying glass, is actually your home button.
Yeah.
So wherever you are in Clarity, if you need to get back home, that's what you press, is the magnifying glass.
Yeah, is that search button in the magnifying glass. Yeah, and if you click on that caseload, once you've created a whole bunch of once you've created client enrollments, you'll see a whole lot of the clients there.
Any questions before we keep going? Just feel free to put it in the chat or unmute yourself. Don't be shy. All right.
I just want to confirm that when I'm live, I'll be interacting with the site and putting information when I'm on the phone with clients. That's what, okay.
That's correct. Yeah, so yeah, that's actually a great question. So I believe, Pete, correct me if I'm wrong. We don't know the call center technology end of it, but what will happen is a call will come in, you'll be answering it, and based on the information that the caller provides, if it is determined that they cannot be diverted or they're calling to update you and they already are seeking shelter or housing, you'll be going in to search for that client using, and let me go back without making you dizzy here. You'll be using this search screen here. So if Cheeseburger calls and they are calling to say, hey, I was staying at my aunt's house, but she kicked me out, and last night I slept in my tent, I'm looking for shelter, then you are going to search for Cheeseburger and go into Cheeseburger's account and provide that update that Cheeseburger is living in a different, or stayed last night in a different place. And we're gonna, over the course of the week, walk you through how to do that, but that's a great question.
Provided that it's the correct cheeseburger.
Yes, find the right cheeseburger. Yes, yes. Also, Maria put into the chat an FAQ document that we use. So just so you all know, when we moved every single person, 200 people from the Service Point site to this Clarity site, we provided these FAQs, and it was helpful hints to log into the LMS, the training site, and to prep for the getting into the live site. So that's a helpful document for you to download and have, just in case you run into any challenges with login. All right, go for it, Tucker.
Yep. So if you click on your initials, that will take you to user account settings. This is, you can update a phone number, you can reset your password here. The key thing is that we don't want you to change any of the settings about, and you can also take a photo of yourself if you want your photo in there, which is definitely not required. Some folks have updated photos with fake photos or real photos, but that's what that's for. But please don't change any of the account settings for yourself. That's the kind of the key point of going, if you do go into the account settings.
I just put in the chat, Latoya gets the best photo of the day award. Her Slack picture is awesome. I love the effects.
Who is it?
Her photo that's she uploaded to Slack.
I don't know.
Oh, Latoya's. Is that what you're saying?
Oh.
Who, or where is it? Okay. Sorry. So this next slide is user account settings. And as Tucker said, we're just going to skip over it because we don't want you to change anything on the account settings.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And so then immediately to the left of the account settings, there's that drop down right up there where you'll either be in Rhode Island Coalition for the Homeless or in coordinated entry. And there's going to be I think there's going to be most of the things you're going to be doing are going to be in coordinated entry because that's kind of where all of the clients who are calling are going to be, for the most part, they're going to be active in coordinated entry. So that's where you'll be most of the time, but you could also switch to Rhode Island Coalition for the Homeless. I don't know if it kind of depends on how we have a bunch of things set up, whether you will actually need to do that very much, but we don't really know that yet. But it'll be a little toggle there where you'll be able to switch between coordinated entry and Rhode Island Coalition for the Homeless. Just lost. Did we just lose Jen altogether? Yep. Okay. Let me get to the. Let me get up here.
I just made you host, Tucker.
Okay. Okay. So so in the messaging, as I mentioned, this is kind of a primary way that you'll have of corresponding with people at other agencies. So there'll be any messages would come up if somebody has sent you a message, unread messages or messages that you've read. You can, and then there's a new message button, and that will let you create a message to any user. The key part, so here's what the message looks like. And you'll be able to switch between any agencies. So any other agencies that that the clients might be working with, you'll be able to switch between agencies and look for whichever staff might be working with a client. And you'll be able to send a message in here to any user who is active in Clarity and HMIS. And pretty much all of the collateral agencies should be, and all of the people who might be working with a client should be active in Clarity. And the key advantage of this is that it's entirely within Clarity, and you can include so it's totally secure, because these messages you have to open Clarity to read. And it's also easier because otherwise you might be sending out a lot of Slack messages trying to get email addresses for people at other agencies. And so it's also good for finding who, the email addresses of staff at other agencies, or instead of having to find a lot of email addresses for staff at other agencies. Does anybody have any questions about that?
What are the nature of the emails that we would be getting through this?
So they would be largely things about clients. So I feel like it's fairly likely that people at other agencies are going to be, they might be sending messages about, if their client has been referred to a shelter bed. If there might be an outreach worker working with somebody, and then the client calls and you do refer them to a shelter bed, and you might want to message the outreach worker that is listed as who they're working with in Clarity, and say, hey, I just made a referral to this client to this shelter bed. If you see them, can you help them make sure that they actually show up to it? That type of thing, is likely to be easier within using this messaging than trying to get in contact other ways with folks.
Tucker, I have a question. It's Brenda.
Yeah.
Does the person you're sending the message to get a notification?
Yes. So it'll send a pop-up that will say, in their email, it'll say that Brenda from CES has sent you a message within Clarity, and then it'll prompt them to open Clarity up and read the message. But it won't contain any of the content. They have to actually log in to be able to get at what client you might be messaging them about. Yeah, so like when I worked at a shelter when I ran a seasonal shelter using Clarity, and I had, I would message people exchange messages with people from the coordinated entry all the time in the system, and it worked within Clarity, and it worked quite well. That was a different community, but it's a useful feature, definitely. Any other questions about that? Okay. So we're going to do a little bit, not too much more. In the Launchpad, there probably won't be too much that you have in the Launchpad, but there's attendance, which is one way of recording services that I don't anticipate you'll be using. There's a calendar, so you can actually set up appointments with clients in Clarity. I'm not sure if anybody's been using that yet, but if you wanted to, ask a client to call at a certain time, you could mark that in their record, and then it would show up on the calendar. And then also reports are here for running for some reports, which I'm not sure which of those you might be using right now. And this is, if you click on reports, this is what will show up. We've kind of covered reports. Reports are not used the reports in the report library are not used all that much, probably by you guys, but that's the other part here. The ones probably there, and also the other part is that we haven't really configured out all of the ways that the coordinated entry is going to work, and how within the system you'll be making the referrals to shelter beds. So some of these community and referral reports might be useful, but we haven't kind of sorted that out yet. So it's still in progress. Yeah, and then when you if you were to set up appointments with clients on the calendar, it would show up there, and you can theoretically subscribe to it with Google, and then it will create anonymous entries in your calendar, but it would prompt you it would have links to open in Clarity that would contain information about it, basically. Clarity is very, very careful about keeping all of the private client information within the system, and so you always have to be in it to see it. I think that's kind of our natural stopping point for what we're going to cover today. And now we can take questions on it. So you guys can get started.
Tucker, actually, can I ask you to go to the next slide?
Mm-hmm.
So I found this very interesting because you could not do this in the old system, but you guys have no idea what the old system looks like. And you should be thankful for that because Clarity is so much better. But a good, I think it was pretty, it's pretty neat. The search, you could type in like the date of birth, when you start typing in the client's name, anything, it's very quickly to narrow down what it is that you're searching for. Even if it's not the name, if it's just the date of birth, we're talking about Social Security. It's pretty neat, and it's a lot better than our previous, what we're coming from. So just that, I think that's helpful too for you guys to know when you actually are either on the live site or the training site as well.
Yeah, and there'll be a lot of the search is very good, and there's a very good alias field in there too. So a lot of times, there will be so there might be clients who have given street names to an outreach provider. There might be women who have given different last names over their various relationship statuses over time. I've certainly seen that a lot of times, and it has it's very good if we can, and this system works really well for keeping track of all of those things in an alias field.
So do you guys have any questions, requests to go over something? We could even do it live. I do want to say that Amy, Megan, Shermine, and Yumari, I did check your profiles on the LMS. They are active. So just the FAQ link that I sent out, go ahead and use the link that's in there for the LMS. I could have spelt your emails wrong, but I want to say that I copied it and pasted it from the request that came in, the forms that came in. So just make sure that if it still's not popping up and if it's still saying that your email isn't showing up, it could have been a user error on my end. So just make sure that you do email the help desk. And it also gives you the link to the training site for clarity and how to log in to the training site. So your training site profiles for the LMS are all set, and your training site for clarity are also all set. So you guys should be able to access both portals as soon as you please. And any issues, email the help desk. And I'll actually put it in here too.
Thank you.
Just a helpful hint, you guys are getting a lot of links to URLs and login screens. I would suggest, rather than having to have like a Word doc with all these links, making sure that you're adding them to your favorites. And when you add them, most of them will want to call themselves a login screen or whatever login page. So you probably want to relabel it with whatever it is. So LMS login or HMIS or Clarity login or Clarity training site login, those sort of things, to distinguish between the different things you're accessing, because there's a lot that you're going to want to access while you're here, whether it's click time or any of the Clarity, or when we get into the 5.9 program to do the call center system. So there's a lot of things that we access.
Also, we are recording these. So all of this will be accessible in the LMS, in addition to the 4 required trainings on the LMS. Also, I added the security training. It's not required to go on that you guys don't have to watch it to go live on Clarity. But it is required as an HMIS end user that you attend the training at least once a year. And I suggest you guys get that out of the way now. Maybe not this week, maybe not anytime this month, probably, but when it kind of slows down a little bit and you guys are acclimated to what it is that you guys are doing with the call center, I suggest going back and doing the security training as well. But you don't have to do the security training now. It's just the 4 required trainings, and it'll be labeled as required, so you guys don't have to guess which ones are required and which ones aren't. Okay, that's it. I'm done. Sorry.
I'm sorry, will we be given time to complete these trainings during the day, or are we supposed to do them on our own?
I don't know the answer to that question, Pete.
One question I have is that so you're going to have the recordings on the LMS site, but you're going to be doing the trainings live.
So how about I share my screen quickly, because we got 3 minutes. I don't want to take up all your time. If I can find my screen. So what I'm looking at here is, oh, I can't share my screen.
Can Tucker sign it over to you?
Oh, let me see. Okay, try it now.
So let me go into Learner. So the trainings that you guys have are going to be the required it would say Clarity required trainings. So when you guys log in, you'll have 4 listed here. And then you can keep track of the progress that you've made. These 4 are the ones that were already recorded. They've already happened. They're no longer live. This is just recordings of what you need to get into the live training site. The ones, for example, the one that's being recorded right now, where this live training will be recorded, is being recorded, will be updated, uploaded into this CES call center training. So these have already been recorded. They're available to you now. This recording will be uploaded and will be available to you at a later date once it's uploaded here.
So the subject matter is not going to be the same?
It is, however, this is a lot more detailed. This is more of a crash course for your team.
Question for the help desk email, is it HMIS@rhomeless.org or RIHomeless.org?
RIHomeless.
Okay, thank you.
But yeah, do you guys have any other questions regarding these? So also a big difference between the Clarity required trainings and the Call CES CES call center is that these have quizzes at the end of them and these don't.
I don't know if I just missed this, but are we doing this on our own? Did we decide that?
I'm going to have to rethink how this is all working. I'll keep everybody abreast.
Okay, thank you.
My apologies. I turned around a couple of times. The wind's crazy and we've got a tree down on this side of the property.
Yeah.
So,
you know, I'm on the 3rd floor and my whole building is shaking. Like, yeah.
But yeah, so if you guys don't have any other questions, I think we're good. And of course, if you do have questions, you know, Pete or the HMI, or specifically with anything to do with the trainings or the HMIS piece of it, just email the help desk.
All right. So we're at the end. And so what's the next